Drum roll. Here's our guest.
I do not have my drums.
Yeah.
No, that's probably not good.
Poirot, hello! Bonjour! Oh, Becky!
Why does he keep putting it over there? Hang on, I got. Oh,
Hey! It is very nice to see you. Wonderful. In fact.
I would have grown a mustache if I'd known.
So would I.
Me too.
Me too. I got rid
And
of
look,
mine.
I will shave.
Oh!
Wait. No! There! Ah!
Did it hurt when you ripped it off? Did it?
Oh man, it was painful.
Almost as painful as that accent. So I'll say before we get into specific ones, it was nice to see this as a compilation because, as a general rule, Rabbit Ears has so many moving parts and so much craziness, and so there's not a lot of continuity.
I'm afraid to ask why.
I'm not. Why?
This one there definitely was because the writing staff, a bunch of us went up to Lake Tahoe and wrote the whole season 3 together. And we, as part of that, was all these shorts.
Then why are you so excited?
Oh, because I got this Debbie Gibson album.
The first 7, it's like very, from a creative standpoint, it's very continuous.
Continuous?
Has the same feel.
Compilulous.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I hear the ice cream van.
Right in with everything.
And it was
else.
delicious. It was golden and delicious.
Encyclopedia Britannica presents The Death of Fox.
Why do I doubt that?
And frightening.
Yeah.
Toledo, all of that pesticides they're spraying.
Oh, yeah.
Here is one of the apple grower's best friends, a ladybug. She eats small, leaf-destroying insects called aphids.
Aphids are our mortal enemy.
I love
Grandma
that.
used to spray.
That's right.
Yeah.
This particular spray will strengthen the stems so the apples won't fall off before being picked. Each orchard is sprayed many times throughout the season.
Just like Grandma used to spray.
Oh, that was.
For all those bees that were your best friends a couple minutes ago.
This helicopter, with its hoppers full of insecticide, can
Insects
touch
such as
many
the
acres
apple
in a
grower's
matter of
best
minutes.
friend a few minutes back? That's cold, dude. That's cold.
Let's kill those suckers now!
Screw you, ladybugs! You're dead to me!
But it's okay. They throw the apples in soapy water. We're all good.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
We're all good.
They're not inside those apples.
Well, this DDT isn't going to poison ourselves. Oh wait. It will.
Is this the short where we made the I Love Lucy and Ethel reference?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drums.
Lucy, I think the conveyor belt is speeding up.
Finally,
Quick,
the
Ethel,
apples are
eat as
packed.
many as you can.
Each apple is skillfully
Yes, it was. For the LOLs, Ethel.
It was so
LOLs.
funny because I'm watching that conveyor belt and I'm thinking, oh, I can picture Lucy and Ethel doing this. And
For the LOLs, Ethel, just do it.
oh, Lucy, the conveyor belt's speeding up. And I went, yes!
Bruised apples are wasted apples.
Whoa, man. I'm totally bruised right now.
Like, except for Practical Dreamer, I wrote for all of these. And so I was like watching them and I was like writing down favorite lines. And I think 90% of them, I was like, I think that's my line. And then I'd check and yeah, that was my line.
The boxes pass through the machine, tops are dropped into place, and automatically nailed on.
Some of the nails find their way into the apples, but only about 15% of the time.
What I think is funny with all these, not just the Apple one, is that you have on one side of the coin me and Dylan and Duffy and Matthew in Lake Tahoe at a casino writing this, and then you have Juliet by herself writing it.
In my room.
Somehow they came together and fit.
Some pollinating is done by the farmer himself. In this process, workers first gather the pollen by hand.
Sounds kinda kinky.
Then after the blossoms and buds are picked, they're placed in sieves where they're...
I have to point out in this one, because probably no one would notice this except for me, is I eat the banana from the bottom at the very end.
Yes. Yeah. No, I noticed.
I learned that from a monkey.
I noticed you ate the banana, but I didn't notice you got it from the bottom.
Oh yeah. I learned that from a monkey. They open it from the bottom. It's actually much easier to open it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
I'll try that.
Yeah, you just pinch the bottom and pull it. It's like done.
The concept that you have this whole thing of apples, so you just get out a banana and start eating it.
Yeah.
Well, after watching that horrific mess in the apple orchard,
well, I loved the continuity that, like, you know, Dan, you're trying to get him to, you know, get Jeff to take the apple, and then you're still holding it at the end. And I think I wrote down, like, yeah, did your arm get tired, Dan?
And if I remember correctly, those apples were fake.
Some of them were. Were they all? They might have all been fake, actually.
I was, because I remember that at least some of them were, but I think they all were, because I remember Matthew saying, "Okay, here are the apples," and I'm like, you could have just gotten apples, right? Like, we could have just bought apples. Why? What? But he had this thing of fake apples, and they looked real.
As Matthew would.
Nestled in these valleys come apples, large, firm, and red. Perhaps
I
the most
don't see
popular
any
fruit in
apple
our part of the
trees.
world.
Does anyone see any apple trees?
I've got a comment that says, "Who is Tardo?" It's
Torgo.
Oh, Torgo.
Hey, it's Torgo.
Very well done. Torgo is a character in Manos, The Hands of Fate. And if you've never seen Manos, The Hands of Fate,
run.
I am Torgo. I take care of the place while the master is away.
There are jokes of mine that are like, I love this joke and it's really funny and everyone will find this funny. And this is one of those jokes that I love and acknowledge that it's not that funny. Like, I think it's the most amazing thing, and I know that it's not.
They just black out that dog? Okay, great informational video. I just have one note. Get rid of the dog.
Get rid of the dog. Like, for whatever reason, I find that so funny.
It is pretty funny.
Don't you have a line after that? Like, and the dog went on, and what did the dog went on to do something?
That dog later went on to become the RCA dog. Fact!
That's not a fact.
Fact!
It's the RCA dog.
To become the RCA dog.
Here's a hint. We don't always write these in the order that we air them. So I'm sure that was because we'd already watched the RCA show.
Yeah.
But the child, I'm not sure the master would approve, or the dog. The master doesn't like children.
Okay, so the next chart is Dan's tribute to World War II.
On the front lines, we bring you Blook and Acid.
This one had a special place in my heart.
Anyone else see the demonic face screaming at me? No? Just me? Okie dokie then.
In the grocery store, and it brought me back. My heart was touched.
Daily battle is being waged in supermarkets all over this country.
Could we maybe get a list of those supermarkets for safety reasons?
That's nice, because I worked as a cashier in a grocery store. It brought me back, and it wasn't nice.
No. Yeah, same.
Like any battle, victory in this conflict is finally won or lost on the front line.
Anyone want to fact check that statement?
You're such a nerd.
Love the Wonder Woman's grocery bag line, by the way. That
Can't say I've ever enjoyed packing an order, but I know how much depends on it.
It's Wonder Woman's invisible
The
bag.
customer takes home with her.
But Like it's got the clear, and she's just putting it in perfectly. And I'm watching that. And as somebody who used to have to bag and who hates the way people bag these days because nobody teaches them how, I wrote the line about like, I want to marry this woman, please.
Yeah.
And I was only a little bit kidding.
Meat, frozen foods, and ice cream should always be wrapped separately.
I love this woman and would like to marry her immediately.
But I did love Jeff's joke right after that, where she's doing all this careful planning and stuff, and then Jeff just goes,
Finally, light crushables go on top.
Screw it! You hear all the cans.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think that's probably the most fun I've ever had recording. Because I had to save, like I spent a couple days, like as I'd make stuff or whatever, I'd save the cans. So like rinse it out and like save it, and so that I had them, and I had them all stacked up on my desk in like a pyramid. And I'm just like, screw it, bam,
Screw it!
I figured it was just a sound effect you pulled from somewhere. You actually
I did that live. Yeah.
Nice.
Checking some 7,000 separate items.
Is that counting six-packs as one
And
item
develop
or
good habits,
6?
Such as main
this one also took me back because my mom was a cashier and so I remember the twirling, that twirling table thing, and I remember the whole process and the cash register, the way they had it there.
The Enigma
so it took
machine.
me back that way.
I've never seen one of those twirling ones.
Oh, really?
Oh no, I remember those.
No,
I remember them.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
They were odd to me then.
Press the right department.
Be sure to check today's Enigma code or the whole war will be lost.
And now the blandest chili ever.
Can we get the blandest chili ever, please?
Like all the food, and it's just like, of that era, and it's just like everything's boring.
That's a lot of Campbell soup. Is that all they sell?
Random things, a can of peas and like some kind of syrup and
Yeah, what is she making with that?
The first items in this group until they can all be checked through.
What is she making?
45 cents?
Multiple.
First of all, they have like the 3 cashiers of the year or whatever. But I love how like they introduce them. They're all, but we're gonna go concentrate on her because she's hot. And they were in the void.
They were in the void.
Yes.
They were short in the void.
Gotta have the void.
Yeah.
And most importantly,
never let them see you cry.
Never let them see you cry.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true. Moments like that.
good checker develops on her own.
This one I
She
approve.
learns to communicate a comfortable pleasantness to her customers.
This one is rejected.
Making them feel that the store regards them as something special.
You're dressed like a
Smile,
clown.
Always part of the uniform.
She's like, fractions mean you go to the next penny up.
Fractions mean you charge the next penny.
Okay, I'm not a math expert, but I'm pretty sure that's not what fractions mean.
It might well.
I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's what fractions mean.
The same for you.
She's costing the store fractions of pennies, and these will add up to whole pennies.
I had somebody also had the line, I've cracked the code. I've cracked the code.
Yeah.
I've cracked the code. I've cracked the code. Phone Churchill now.
Phone Churchill now. And I was like, that's an excellent, because, like, what is it, Bletchley Park reference to the female code. I love that.
Why are they using an Enigma machine?
This short was I think, one of the most where I was conscious that it was such a time capsule.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I mean, the person even made a line where cashiers are not going away anytime soon because this is a job that's too complicated. And you're like, and now there's self-checkout. It's like,
I don't know who did this line, but I thought it was amazing because it's like they're talking about, she sets the smeared item aside.
This is one time I stop everything. I don't guess. I ring for my supervisor and set the smeared item aside until she comes.
Its rep is ruined forever.
I just that like layers of that like smear campaign, and I don't know who wrote that, but well done. 2 thumbs up to whoever wrote that. That was excellent.
Stop looking at me! Make it stop!
I wanted at some point for one of the cash registers to give a Dalek voice. Like,
Expired. Here we go.
Produce expired.
This film company has 3 divisions? Seriously?
I just want to talk about the Sword of Zaphod. What the heck?
Oh, is that in the front lines?
That was at the end.
Have you guys seen my Rod of Zafrad?
That depends. I have no idea what one is.
It's all the shorts. I mean, they're just little tiny throwaway sketches, and to remind people, who these people are. They're sitting there. Yeah. And with that one, I remember I just wrote that thinking, we need some geeky thing for Jennifer to be talking about,
That doesn't even make any sense.
It makes more sense than the Rod of Zaphroid.
Zafrad!
And so I just wrote that bit. It didn't really have a point or anything. And then I put on the prompt list Sword of Zaphrod or whatever. Staff of Zaphrod or whatever. And didn't explain to Matthew what that was or why we needed it or whatever. And so Matthew gets the list for the shoot, and he makes this thing. It could have been anything. It could have been like anything. It didn't matter what it was. And he goes all out of all the things. He goes all out. And he gets that, carves that Z into the thing and makes the staff and
it was awesome.
But it was like there was no point to it. Like he spent all this time working on it, and then when we got to the set, it's like, oh yeah, Pete just takes it and walks off. It's never used for anything else.
Oh.
Although, didn't you have Jennifer use it in another scene just because we had it? Did we?
Oh no.
I remember. I think I just had a picture of her. You have a picture of her
standing with
it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I want it. Where is it now?
I'll ask Matthew. I don't know I honestly don't know what happened to that. And that's the only time. He just took it and walked out. And okay, so moving on to my personal favorite.
Oh God.
A Ride for Cinderella.
This reminds me of that episode of Lizzie McGuire where Gordo and Ethan compete in a charity mini golf tournament and Lizzie gets handcuffed to her brother.
I will say that's the second Nicky Gnome cartoon we did. We had done one previously, and I wish that there were more. I couldn't find more.
Okay, dude, not trying to judge here, but could you keep that behind closed doors where it belongs?
I would just love to, just that's all we would do is watch Nicky Gnome cartoons.
But we spread happiness each day as we go on our merry way.
Hope that ghost eats Nicky Gnome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's legitimate animation going on right there for what?
Woodland Messenger Service?
So, is everything in this cartoon a drug-induced nightmare? Pretty much.
This is the only time in the history of the show, to my knowledge, that we swear.
Yeah.
And it is a doozy. And
we're fucked!
Oh yeah!
I almost fell off my chair.
I was too busy laughing to write it down.
I backed it up and watched it.
We're fucked!
This is so good.
It's the Disney infringement witch.
Wow. I mean, I have 2.5 pages of notes on that because there's so many.
And there was only one page of jokes.
Since when is Cinderella's wagon a 1950s sedan?
Chevrolet, kids!
Well, go take a look at the print.
It seems like it should
when
be
he comes out of the rolled up carpet.
Fabulous!
Fabulous!
All disguised. No, it was the prince.
Fabulous!
Whoa, somebody's having some issues with job satisfaction.
And every now and then, I do things that I know no one else will want. And it's just for me. It is just for me. And I don't do it often, but I work hard and I
Lies.
deserve I
Not
deserve
a
a
fact.
bit of a reward. And this one had it, in the show, and this happens fairly often.
This reminds me of that episode on Lizzie McGuire where Lizzie's dad and brother build a literal man cave, and then their mom finds it and makes them plug it up.
Why were they made? And I think, Dan, you brought this up many a times. You're like, people had to animate this. This takes time.
Yeah.
Are they trying to say that Chevrolet cars are indestructible?
I have no idea what the point of this is.
But no, that is a moment that I have so many times when we're doing the movies, the shorts, where I'm like, people actually they spent money to produce this. They actually dedicated so many hours of people's time to put this thing together. It's like, wow, it baffles me.
That ghost is kind of a dick.
He's like that kid in elementary school whose sack lunch you pee on when they aren't looking.
I'm sorry, what?
So when that demon thing's throwing the trees and they're like, I hate trees, it's like, what is that guy doing? Why is he throwing trees? These things that's like, you don't get why these things are even in the world.
I hate trees.
I think we sort of gone off script.
Yeah, this was pretty amazing. I loved how there's a scene where the stepsisters are going, oh, look at her dress and blah.
Cinderella must be home by midnight, or she'll lose her gown, her slippers, her coach, everything.
Well, someone's been reading ahead.
Wow, someone's been reading ahead.
It's the Green Hornet.
Oh, right. As if this cartoon would have anything that sane in it.
I love the live action where Jennifer puts Shannon in her place about the Cinderella story.
What? How could you not like the story of Cinderella?
Well, for starters, the whole thing's based on child abuse. And let's not forget the strange fetish the main character has with animals.
You can't be serious. Oh, it's romantic.
Oh, yes, everything in life will be perfect when a man comes and rescues you from all your problems.
And then Wyatt's like, I'm not getting involved in this.
Well, I think it's cute and romantic. What do you think, Wyatt?
I'm not getting involved.
Shannon's like, come on, get on my side. No, I'm not going to get involved. No.
I want a peanut. No, a pumpkin. No, I was right the first time. I want a peanut.
Yeah.
I personally appreciated that you made Jennifer say the line, to Hogwarts we go. She must have hated saying that.
To Hogwarts we go.
If we look at the arc of the story, the point of all of this is the grasshopper horse licking the gnome's face. I mean, it starts out with the dance, and it's this arc towards the horse getting to lick the gnome's face. That's how it ends.
Yep.
Jeez, you two, get a room.
Juliet's line, and I know it was Juliet's line about don't judge him. You're the one that just had an intimate moment with your horse. Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Ah! You have got to be kidding me.
Bye, kids! Buy my toys!
Next up is our sole contribution from our favorite filmmakers over at Coronet Films.
Oh, it's a Coronet film.
Shannon even mentioned, it's a Coronet!
Yeah.
We're fans of this now.
Christopher Nolan, the early years.
I was sort of surprised that there was only one Coronet, because Coronet is like our bread and butter.
The measure of his success is not how many sales he makes, but how many customers he satisfies.
And also how many sales he makes.
Such salesmen...
They made these films that, they made thousands of these films. And they're like, how to act on a date, how to properly groom yourself, how...
selling is a career to consider as a vocation.
And a vocation to consider as a career.
We only had one. I was very surprised, but I'm glad we had one to treasure and love for this.
Those people trying to sell babies. How cute.
We did episode 13. And my shirt I hadn't made. I went and got it specially made. It was Coronet Films. It had the Coronet Films logo and everything on it. And wore it for the episode. And Gary, classic, Gary says, "Oh my gosh, Coronet Films, where'd you find that? I don't know if you know what that is, but they made all these like horrible educational shorts. When I was a kid, they played them in schools." And I'm like, do you watch the show?
A motivational video by Willie Loman.
I love that.
Yeah, my dad called me once he saw that episode. He called me to just tell me how much he loved that joke, and I didn't get it.
After the children have been sent to bed, Williams has work to do.
Which apparently doesn't include helping to put several children to bed.
So one of the subtle things in selling as a career that I want to bring out is the very first thing, or one of the first things, is Dan has that, it's a corny Dan joke about sealing as a career. And then I'm all selling, and then he's like, sealing as a selling.
Sealing as a career.
Selling.
All right. Sealing as a selling.
No, never mind.
Yes.
It's just so stupid. But the thing that I take out from that is I totally lost my voice for a second. Not permanently, but like to where you can't get sound out and like your throat's dry and you have to get water. And I'm all selling.
Sealing as a career.
Selling.
Oh, I thought it was great.
Selling.
I wrote it down because I thought it was funny.
For you see, the successful salesman does more than make sales.
Well, time to go back to my suicide note.
Totally depressing that guy's life, honestly.
Yeah.
Totally depressing.
Are you excited to work at 9 p.m.?
I forgot what you look like, Daddy.
Investigate.
Find out who this girl's real father is.
What about selling?
Daddy, I forgot what you look like.
I'll tell you who's not a successful salesman. The guy trying to convince us to go into sales.
Orders and mail them.
That's right. That's true.
That's for sure.
I was not convinced.
Afternoon calls on 2 stores in town some distance away.
Wait, mages? Okay, being a salesman in a role-playing game could be exciting. I'll give him that.
Oh, Dan, another line of yours that I loved was, "There better be dragons later."
Every line. No problem there.
That's it for mages? Really? There'd better be dragons later, or I'm not buying this sales thing.
That's right.
Yes.
Really loving this.
Really? If that's the mage.
There better not be dragons in this, or I'm not buying this sales thing.
When today's reports and records have been completed, there is more routine work. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Oh, boy!
That's right. And there weren't, and I didn't.
Sampson Sports Center. A steady, long-term customer.
Told us never to come back.
For a repeat order in...
And this is the only short that featured James, and I love how he was trying to he's finally figuring out he's trying to use Channel 62 to better us in some way.
I looked at the broadcast schedule for your beloved Channel 62 this morning.
Please don't call it that.
Oh, that reminds me. This is the one where I was doing I had a dance routine made up with in the very beginning. I had a dance routine with this little couch gnome. So like I always have something that's going on in the background. And in this one I was making up a dance routine with this little couch gnome, and it's like wandering around and it clicked its legs and then point its little cane and then walk back into its little leg.
I don't remember any of that. What I do remember with that gnome thing was that you made it like bring its hair all slick and was hitting on Shannon.
That's right. And then I forgot it. I actually forgot it on the set, and it made it into the next short. So you'll see it still sitting there on the couch.
And then Jeff, you're holding it at one point.
Yeah. Sure.
Just like that at the very end of the short.
Yes.
You've become like you've got this little body under your face, and you've
That's right.
become the couch gnome. Run with it.
In one of these, I'm wearing my late late show with Craig Ferguson T-shirt, which I'm so proud of.
You've had trouble with leaking boots, huh? That's right.
Oh, I get it. This isn't a promotional video. It's a warning to get out while you still can.
Just drop me a note.
Which that theme song still gets in my head, and it drives me like no.
The haunted coronet theme.
That's my ringtone when despair calls.
Paid for by the Society of For the Love of God Do Anything But Go Into Sales.
I found a coronet film that was made in 1986. Remember that, Dan? The Halloween safety one?
Oh, yes. Yep.
And we were just like, coronet? In 1986? Like
Your comeback tour.
Oh my gosh.
You're doing great. Keep on going. They might be making some still today, right?